Hi, I just wanted to do an intro really quick to this video vlog that I am going to be uploading. I'm titling this video The In-Between, I think, because I vlogged my pregnancy with my first child, and then what you're going to see is my pregnancy with my second, which all of this that you're going to see, it occurred in November of 2021. So I want to be clear, this is footage from November 2021. I think it's important to share the in-between, and that's what I want to do here. When I was in the middle of everything, in November, it was actually really helpful for me to not only to speak to other women in my life, but also, like, honestly, seeing people's stories online. I think the internet makes the world really small, and you realize that there are so many people who go through the same thing that you do. I felt so alone during everything, and there were so many other women who had walked the same path that I was now walking on. So, if that can give any comfort to anybody, then I am like, I want to be involved in that when you experience pain and loss, you're never alone. And it really feels like it a lot, but you're not. So if this can help even one person, then I just want to put it out there in the internet, put it out there in the universe, that the in-between can really suck. And when you don't know the answers and you don't have any idea of why things happen to you, it can just be really isolating. So hopefully through sharing all of this, it can be something for someone. Anyway, thank you for being along with our journey. I'll have more updates coming in future videos on where we are now, but I don't want to pass over what happened and what we experienced a few months ago. I think it's so important to acknowledge everything that was. So with that said, this is the in-between. Hi, it's Saturday, November 27th. I figured I could maybe do an update. I don't even know if I'm gonna use any of this footage for anything. I started vlogging when I was 4 weeks pregnant just to have it, because I like to document things. And see, here we go. I don't even know how I'm gonna get through this. So last Saturday when I did the last video, I had gotten HCG results and everything looked good. They were like, yeah, everything looks great. They scheduled me for December 27th for a basic 9-week OBGYN visit. I guess an ultrasound, to check the heartbeat and that basic type of stuff. So then Saturday, which was a week ago, exactly a week ago, I did the video update in the morning, did my makeup, everything was great. And as the day started going on, I started having cramps, but cramping sounded normal as far as I feel like cramping can be common. And that's the thing with pregnancy. It's I feel like every symptom ever, somebody has experienced it while being pregnant. And so it's kind of nobody really knows what is normal and what's not. So I was kind of cramping throughout the day, but I went about the day, cleaned the house. I'm trying to think of what I even did. I just did a lot of school, and around that at school, so at midday, Zane went to nap. I was in a lot of pain at that point, cramping really, really bad. What I thought was cramping, really, really bad. laying in bed typing. I had 2 more essays to do in grad school, like to be done with everything. So I'm laying in bed typing, and I finished my 2 papers, and I woke up Zane from nap. We hung out for a little bit, and then we went to Noelle's birthday party, and I could barely walk to the car. And Josh was like, Hannah, should we stay home? Should we stay home? I'm like, I'm okay. Like, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. We get to Noelle's house, and I ate, and I was okay. I had like a wave of like, okay, feeling okay. And then it was, you know, like, I think we made it like an hour at her party, and I was like, as I kind of got up to like have cake and sing and do that stuff, I just felt like really bad pain and nausea. Like, I was like, I'm gonna pass out, I'm gonna throw up, like, I can't feel like I can't even move, like, I'm in a lot of pain at that point. So I was in the bathroom for a while thinking I'm gonna throw up. And I'm like, at this time, I'm thinking I'm probably like nauseous because I'm pregnant, and then I'm probably like having cramping, maybe because I'm pregnant, but I'm also thinking this doesn't feel right. But I just didn't know like what level of not right. So I'm gonna just fast forward because there was a lot of time between. So I'm like, we need to go home now. So we go home, and I took medicine. Like 2 hours later, like, I was just lying in bed, and I'm like, this is just not getting any better. It's like, it felt like it was getting worse. I was like, my pain is like at an 8, and like, I just could barely get out of bed, could barely move. Like, I mean, it's just honestly the worst pain I think I've ever experienced in my life. So we did a virtual visit, a doctor visit, and at that point it's probably like 9:30, and the virtual doctor was like, you need to go to the ER because you're pregnant, and like abdominal pain like that you're describing is not good. So we go to the ER. Thankfully, my sister and brother-in-law, they live like a few minutes away. So he came and got Zane. We woke Zane up. You know, he took Zane to their house and took care of him there while we were dealing with our own stuff. And so basically we get to the ER, they do a ton of different tests. They like drew so much blood, like they could barely get blood out of me. They were like, you're really dehydrated, and there's different things that I feel like I'm piecing together as time passes. It sounds to me like I was starting to go into shock, like, because my body was so cold, and then like my blood pressure was really, really low. They had to tilt my bed. I don't know what that's called. I can't remember. But like, I've seen it in Grey's Anatomy where like they tilt the bed, you know, where your head is low and your feet are up in the sky. So yeah, I'm trying to think. And they did like pelvic exam. They did, like I said, a ton of blood work tests. They did a sonogram, ultrasound, and they did other stuff. Felt like forever. Finally, they were like, okay, you're having an ectopic pregnancy. We have to go to surgery now because it ruptured. So after it was all said and done, like, I feel like I went into surgery probably like 1:30, maybe 1:30, 3:30, something like that. It took a lot longer than she expected. It was supposed to take, I think, like an hour, but I think it took like twice as long. Because I, from what I understand, there was like a lot more blood than they thought. Basically, it sounds like I had massive internal bleeding. And I'm like, how long was I, you know, how long, obviously throughout Saturday? Like, I think it probably happened around Friday, and I just didn't know it. And anyway, it was very bad by the time they got in there. But, the doctor was great. Like, I really liked her a lot. And, like, she did a really good job. She, I am sorry. She had to take out the left fallopian tube. And then, like, she was able to keep everything else. So which she said that it had almost come to taking everything, like a total hysterectomy, because of how like bad it was. But she was able to keep everything else and just take out the left fallopian tube. So everything with the surgery went good, and it's been a week, and I feel like I'm physically doing good. Like, it is hard. Like, again, it's been a week, and like the physical recovery for this type of surgery is it feels very similar to when I got a C-section, actually, because it feels like, you know, like those first 24 hours, maybe like the first 48 hours, it's so hard to move. Like, everything kind of still hurts, and it's like, I was in so much pain before surgery, but then after surgery, like, it's not like I felt amazingly better. Like, I felt like, you know, you go through surgery, so like your body still kind of feels like shit. So, and then you have a toddler, and so thankfully, like, Josh has done like everything. Like, he, bless his heart, because he has been sick, but he has still had to shoulder everything, because I physically cannot, which I also think is emotionally hard for me, because like, I want to help and do all the things, and then knowing I can't, it's very frustrating. And then like I said, a lot of these physical feelings of recovery, they feel like when I had a C-section, but then it's like when you go through a C-section, or like when I went through pregnancy with Zane, it was horrible. Like, the pregnancy with Zane was horrible, but like doing it for Zane was worth it. Like, every pain and like discomfort and fear and all the things that I went through with Zane felt like I had a lot of strength, because I knew that Zane, like, I was doing it for Zane. With this one, it's like I just feel like shit, and there is no benefit. And like, in this moment, like, it is hard to be like to see why things like this happen, you know? And so anyway, logically, I know that like the world is just messed up, you know? Like, our bodies don't do what they should do sometimes, and that's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. But like, I truly believe that like this is not the end for us. And like, because I still have, you know, because the surgery was able to keep pretty much everything in there, like, I can still have kids in the future. I don't know what that looks like, because it's gonna be, I think, like it's gonna be like a process of like risk versus reward, I think, which is kind of what it was already after having Zane. Like, pregnancy after Zane was not going to be, it's not gonna ever look like, you know, a pregnancy that another woman would have. I think every pregnancy is going to be so different, but like, it was never going to be in the cards for me to have a smooth sailing, normal pregnancy after the pregnancy I had with Zane. So this just adds another layer to it, and it adds, in a way, another like complication to it, to where we will have to decide what we want to do moving forward. Basically, is it worth it for us to try again someday? We meet with the surgeon on Monday, and I'll ask her a bunch of questions, because I have some more questions really about like moving forward, like what that looks like and risks that would come with that. the odds of like success, I guess, like those sorts of questions. And I think it's good to document this. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna like post it, but I think it's good to like capture this moment, because I'm not the only person that's going through this, and also because I know like this is just the middle, this is not the end. And I don't know, like it's hard to see how there could be like good after all this. But I do know, like, my brain knows, like, I know that there is going to be good after this, even if I don't feel it right now. So I know that one day I'll look back at this and be like, Hannah, you didn't even know, like, how good things were going to be, like, just around the corner. So, anyway, I think that's all for now. And I'll just check in, I guess, later. Bye.